It's time to check your money with Mike Jennings. Mike Jennings is a wealth advisor at Brackens Financial Solutions Network, LLC, and a registered representative of LPL Financial, member SIPC. Happy Mother's Day, Mike.
Happy Mother's Day. I know neither of us are mothers, but
I didn't want to forget that it is actually Mother's Day. So make sure, I hope you did what you had to do.
absolutely. I was gonna say we both got women in our lives that are mothers, so making sure that they felt appreciated and recognized and needed, honestly, because we all still need whether it's our mothers or our people that we know that are mothers, just that motherly sense
There you
is just
go.
something that we need.
I just want to make sure you and I did what we had to do.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
All right. So, what you got going on today?
Whew, you know what, George? There's so many topics that can be covered, and for the sake of not sort of rehashing some of the things that we've covered in the last few weeks, and just trying to make sure that we touch on a little bit of everything. I thought we could just cover just a wide array of quick hit topics. Does that sound good?
Sounds good to me.
All right, let's get right into it then. So for this year, there are new contribution limits for your 401ks, your employer sponsored plans. Now usually we see like an increase of like between 1,000 or 500, usually 500 for like your 401ks or your IRSs and things like IRAs, things
IRAs.
like
Yeah.
that. The standard limit for this year, 2025, has gone up to 23,500. So that's up 500 from last year. So that's the usual case. Um, the catch up for this year. So this is for savers that are over 50 years or 50 years or older. And that's an additional 7,500 that they can save. So altogether with the normal standard contribution, that's $31,000 that they can save for 2025. Now, with Secure 2.0 Act, what went into effect this year for 2025 is what they call, I don't know what they call it. A lot of people call it different things. It's a new thing. So I see some people calling it the super catch up. So this is for savers that are between 60 and 63 years old. Now people there, they have an extended catch up of up to $11,250. So that's 3,750 more than the 7,000, and that brings them to a total of $34,750 a year. Now that's pretty good as far as being able to save that amount of money in a tax deferred environment, a vehicle.
That's a
So that
good,
is good.
that is
Um,
good.
Absolutely, and
We
this
need some
provides
good
more.
news these days.
I know that's been a thing in the last few weeks. We've been touching on a lot of things that sometimes don't make much sense, but yeah, we got to get back to some good news. So this provides more opportunity for people that have access to employer-sponsored plans to save money and to, extend their retirement. A lot of people are starting to realize that they need a little bit more money than they thought. When Vicky and I, when we speak to clients about retirement, we ask them, what is your number when it comes to retirement, as far as what is that number you need to have saved up in order to live comfortably in retirement? And for a lot of Americans, this is a stat I pulled from CNBC. A lot of Americans, their number is now up to 1.25 million.
1.25 million. It's like what they need sitting in the nest egg to draw from to feel comfortable. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. And just looking around at the current economic conditions and the environment, it's easy to see how someone may need that amount of money in order to live comfortably. So there you go. We got some new contribution limits for this year. Next point, high school student or high school seniors and their families, they are weighing the cost of education almost equally against the education itself. And this is a new thing, but like with anything else, we'll see a increase in the cost of education And we're seeing a little bit of shift in how we think of student loans on the back end as well. So this is really a twofold problem here. Now, George, you and I are both Syracuse University alumni.
Yes.
Do you remember what it cost you to attend SU back then?
Right. So, and we're talking in, in the early,
Listen, just keep it to back then. Just keep
yeah,
it to
back
back then.
then, it was like, I think about $10,000. Yeah.
Wow. I don't even that didn't even cover my meal plan.
Right, right. But and that was a lot then.
So when I was there, that was, I think my first year started like mid 50s as far
Yeah,
as total cost of insurance. And then by the time, my last year, it was like 68. So
right.
average between those two, average of that range for 4 years, you're looking at $250,000 for the total cost of
Yeah,
education.
yeah.
Luckily, I had some help with some scholarships, and I got my tuition waived. So, even with all of that, I still came out with about $50,000 in loans after I
Right,
left college.
right.
And now today the cost of attendance for Syracuse sits at around 90,000.
90,000.
90,000. So for 4 years, you're looking at close to $500,000 for one kid. Now,
And that's at Syracuse University, a private institution.
private
So
institution.
and it's but then if you look at the Ivies, it's another level up.
Listen, if you got a kid that can get into the Ivies, hopefully that means they can get some scholarships as well because they're gonna need it. And now this is just a tough situation now more than ever because kids at that age, they already have a tough time looking like too forward into the future. Like, they're just worried about the next year, what they're gonna do when they get to college, and the friends, the parties, things like all kinds of stuff, right? Um, so, but not only is the upfront cost of attending college increasing, but like I said earlier, it's the back end problem of having to deal with student loans on top of that then for decades. And that's
Mhm.
going to be a reality for most. The current trend we're seeing with the federal administration is that this problem has gotten too out of hand, and they are taking a pretty aggressive route to address that. Um, Many people with student loans, when those loans they're about to find themselves in a pretty complicated credit situation, just on top of the affordability and everything else. When these loans have to restart their required payments, they're pretty much gonna start impacting people's credit off rip.
Off rip.
So that is going to lower some of the opportunities from people as well, and just in the credit sense.
Right.
Um, so what can college hopefuls do, right? Let's not get too far into the doom and gloom. Let's bring it back a little bit. What can these college hopefuls do, right? So there's a method that I'm pretty sure all of us has heard about or have maybe some of us even experienced. And I think most people call it the 2+2 method. So this is where students attend an affordable community
Community
college
college, yeah.
for 2 years and then transfer to a four-year college, whichever one they like, to complete their bachelor's. Now, immediately, this cuts the upfront cost of the loan needed or the upfront costs for the more expensive school, and then on top of that, the loan as well that's going to be needed. You're only looking at 2 years. So that already can bring down the total cost of education.
And
Um,
and you're seeing, Michael, even partnerships with some of the community colleges as the gateway to
Absolutely.
that. As a matter of fact, obviously the 4 years, what you want you there for the 4 years, but the beauty of that is you get the 4 year degree, or you get the degree from the institution,
Mhm.
and no one, it doesn't matter if it was 4 years or whatever. That's the degree from, and there used to that's the degree you get. And there used to be a president at OCC, for example, that marketed just what you said. That's the way they did it. I forgot what his name is, but
Yep.
he definitely did that.
You took the words right from me. I was going to bring that up. So
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
I mean, We talk about Syracuse because we know that's both our that's our
Alma maters. Yeah.
alma maters, right? And I can see my very expensive piece of paper right on the wall next to me. Um, but yes, so right on the Syracuse University website, I believe there's like 23, 24 community colleges that are specifically, explicitly stated right there. Like we have a partnership. You go there for 2 years, you can earn your associates, and then you can switch to and continue on with a 4-year program and then finish out the last of your 2 years at Syracuse. And actually, because you mentioned OCC, they also, I didn't even know this, they had a reverse credit transfer. So let's say you start your 2 years at OCC and you're in a certain program that you can earn an associate's degree with. And let's say you transfer to Syracuse before you finish that degree out, you can actually transfer the credits that you earn at Syracuse to finish out and still earn that associate's degree at OCC. So it's like you can kind of reverse time a little bit and end up getting both degrees. So that's awesome.
Wait a minute. So
Um,
you could start in with your upper level credits and then go back and get the lower level credits?
Like just if when you leave OCC, you do your 2 years at OCC,
Right.
you get enough credits to transfer to Syracuse, but maybe you missed a class or two to actually earn your associate's degree. You can take a class and at Syracuse
To
and
get
have
the
those credits and
Oh,
throw those
okay.
credits back at OCC, and you can still earn an associate's degree, which
Nice.
for some people that's awesome, right? Um, so yeah, things like that. Anything that you can do to cut down the cost of attendance for any school that you go to. And also there are still so many great opportunities out there. I share with you, George, that I'm in Leadership Grade at Syracuse this year. And I learned so much just from being able to visit like OC and BOCES, for example. They have
Hmm.
so many great programs over there. And it's really just getting over that stigma. And, that's also something with like OCC and other community colleges, right? As parents, I'm not a parent yet, but as parents and people that are looking to send their kids to colleges or just any secondary or post-secondary education platform, right? Stop talking down about these programs because it's not the same as it was back when you were in school or back when whatever whenever you start hearing all these stories and things. Some of these schools are really on the come up, and just from us speaking and being here locally, we know that OCC has a pretty big hand in with Micron and things like that. They're actually getting a miniature clean room and they're at their campus. So people could start there and go for their the technical or tech degree and get hands-on experience in a miniature clean room, which is what Micron they're going to be building here pretty soon. So that's awesome. Third point, right before we get out of here. So Social Security beneficiaries could see their checks cut in half if they have been overpaid. Now, the federal government, in their crusade against unnecessary spending, are targeting people who have been overpaid in Social Security benefits. So this can happen if the person's situation changes, or if they fail to inform the IRS in time about a certain change, or if the IRS itself makes a mistake. There's a plenty of different reasons why this could happen. But previously, the government said that they would withhold the entirety of people's checks until the repayment is satisfied. But just recently, they have reduced that to withholding only half. So 50% and what they call a clawback is what is known as. And this applies to all Title II payments. So that includes Social Security retirement, Social Security survivor's benefit, and disability benefits. So only getting half of your Social Security check, I don't probably needless to say, can be catastrophic to a lot of people that rely on those payments for rent, mortgage, utilities, or any other necessary spending. And this problem is only exacerbated by the cutting of IRS employees and resources. So the people who find themselves in this situation, they might face a situation where they can't even get somebody on the phone to even start dealing with this, right? So the best thing to do in this situation is just to make sure you don't get into this situation or have a viable plan and getting out of it if need be. And this may be just one of those issues where a little creative problem solving is needed. And for that, you can always certainly give me a call at 315-748-5540 or send me an email at michael.jennings@brackensfsn.com.
All right, Mike Jennings is a wealth advisor with Brackens Financial Solutions Network LLC and a registered representative of LPL Financial, member SIPC. He is your friendly neighborhood advisor.